One of the recent trends in computer design has been a shift towards netbooks, computers that are smaller, more portable and less powerful than laptops, that can be used to surf the web, write and edit documents on. Many models are small enough to fit into hand luggage, some are inexpensive and others have a long battery life of 6 hours or more. And this combination has proved to be very popular, since netbooks are selling very well and it seems nearly every consumer electronics company is now creating its own variant. Netbooks can be quite restrictive though. Most come with 10-inch screens, which can make it hard to read text. The keyboards are often cramped and difficult to type on, and the cheapest models are sometimes poorly constructed, which can cause the screen or keyboard to bend easily when pressure is applied. They're also not very powerful, since they use a processor that is primarily designed to be cheap to manufacture, rather than offering strong performance. As a consequence, on the average netbook, watching high-definition video is impossible, and you can't really use them for anything other than simple tasks. Gaming goes no further than titles so old they don't use 3D graphics, or flash games played in a web browser. The Acer Timeline 1810TZ goes a long way to solving many of these issues. It's about as portable as a netbook, and it can still fit in hand luggage easily. It's well built and feels strong, but it's also reasonably thin. The keys on the keyboard are just the right size, so most people will find typing comfortable. It also has an 11.6-inch screen, which is slightly bigger than the average netbooks and can display a higher resolution, giving more Windows desktop space. Webpages and documents fit better on the screen and are less likely to require scrolling from left to right. It also uses a slightly more powerful processor, which is a dual-core low-voltage model rather than the single-core processor found in most netbooks. This makes a difference when running multiple applications together at the same time. But as the processor is designed to use as little power as possible, the extra performance doesn't noticeably reduce the battery life. The laptop's 6-cell battery lasts for a whopping 8 hours, although that does depend on what task it's performing. The inclusion of 3 GB of memory is another nice addition, since most netbooks usually only have 1 GB. It also has a 250 GB hard disk, which again is quite large for such a small computer, and it comes with Windows 7 Home Premium. As with netbooks, the 1810TZ uses integrated graphics from Intel, which usually isn't capable of much, but this model is the most up-to-date. One advantage is improved performance when watching high-definition video. The laptop can cope with smooth 1080p high-definition video without stuttering, and the HDMI port built onto the side means you can easily connect the computer to a television. It also has 3 USB ports, an Ethernet port and support for analog monitors. Gaming performance still isn't a strong point, and it certainly will not run recent 3D games such as Bioshock 2. But it isn't completely useless. World of Warcraft might be a 6-year-old game, but it runs really well. Other 3D games will need their graphical settings adjusted before they'll run. Although this hardly allows the laptop to be recommended as a computer for gamers, this is still a major improvement of what most netbooks can do, which they can't even run a lot of games. The improved technology means this laptop is more expensive than the average netbook, with a current price tag of around £430. However, some netbooks aren't that cheap either, and here the extra money really is well spent, since every aspect of this laptop is so much nicer to use. If you know you'll spend a lot of time working on your computer when on the move, the 1810TZ is worth considering over a netbook. Its extra performance, longer battery life, bigger screen and great keyboard tick all the necessary boxes.